Alright, right into the next video. Just made my 43-minute long PoE reveal reaction video. Now I'm going to review my Why Diablo 2 is the best game ever video from 2006, 15 years ago. 15-year anniversary of... Was that when Diablo came out? I'm assuming it was. Or maybe I'd already played it for a while, I don't know. Here I am. Just take a minute to admire this hair that I had back then. Let's see. This is my old glasses. This is before I went to the black glasses. Still got the fuzzy blankets. Still use those. Well, that was a little bit different. That was like a felt kind of a... Alright. So, Diablo 2 graphics quality has improved way more than my camera quality. You just look at the comparison. I mean, this is like more HD. Lighting's still decent, I guess. You can see all the wrinkles in my hand. I don't know. Let's have a look at this.
Well, since I've been making my Warcraft stories videos, I've been getting quite a few emails from people asking me about different video games. And I've got an email from the guy named Vejamo, who says, he asked me to make a video explaining why Diablo 2 is the best game in the world, and that it's better than World of Warcraft. Now, the reason that Diablo 2 is the best game in the world is because that he can ask me to make this video, and he doesn't have to ask me if I also agree that it's the best game in the world. He just knows that. That's how good the game is, that he just assumes that since I played it, I know it's the best game in the world. And it is. He's absolutely right. That's how good the game can be.
So back then, that probably was true. Path of Exile didn't exist back then. Plus, we're comparing World of Warcraft and MMORPG with just an action asymmetrical, or what's it called? An isometric an RPG? ARPG? And there really hasn't been any other isometric ARPGs back then. What was that one? It's like start with a C. It's kind of based on like Roman kind of stuff. Now, there's a few ARPGs back then, but like hardly anything.
It's like the only game that I would say that is comparable to it, quality-wise, would be Tribes 2. But that's a first-person shooter game. This is a role-playing game. They're not even in competition with each other. It's two different types of games.
Totally right, Self. Totally right. Look there, Put. That's me. Look at it. That's me.
Myself after the T2, and T2 Dark Lightning stands for Tribes 2.
Yep.
And I had another guy email me about Tribes 2. But anyway, why is Diablo 2 the best role-playing game? Several reasons. And I'll try to tell you why it's different.
See that bald spot coming in?
And let's see, World of Warcraft.
I'm making a video, Bud. It's real important.
It's kind of one of those games. It's like it's a pain in the ass. You spend a lot of time doing stuff that doesn't really accomplish much. Like you can spend 5 minutes just running to your dead body because you got killed way far away from the graveyard or something.
I think Diablo 2's got some pain in the ass stuff now. I thought I was talking about that for a second, but yeah, that's right. World of Warcraft. Blizzard is all about making you waste your time. So I don't know if like Grinding Gear Games kind of was getting that way with making you click everything. So the auto pickup. I don't know.
Warcraft. It's just annoying, but it's addictive, so you keep playing it. Yeah.
That reminds me. There's like I made a Reddit post today about people that are running Penal Skin too much and crashing the servers. They keep making new games. Like the Path of Exile fixed this problem where they made it where you control click on a portal or an upstairs, downstairs, kind of a door or whatever when you go to a new instance. You can create a new instance and it just respawns everything. It's a whole, actually doesn't just resurrect everything. It makes a whole new map, randomizes all the monsters and the layout and stuff. So I made a Reddit post about like what will that affect in Diablo 2, because like Andario, if you just got to like Catacombs 3 and you kill Andario and go back out and make a new portal again, you could do Andy runs like real quick. You can get Sages like probably in a day. But that's the whole thing with Blizzard, is they want you to waste your time, spend more time on their games that way, because it used to be a subscription service. I'm sure Warcraft still is a subscription service, right? That's why they're probably pissed off that Diablo 2 is so popular right now and nobody's having to like subscribe to it. All they do is buy the game and they got it.
Diablo's addictive, but it's always fucking fun, no matter where you are, what you're doing. And there's different things you can do in the game that And if you got different kinds of things that you like, you're just going to do different things. Like, if you like to gamble, there's a place in the game where you can gamble. You can go around killing things and getting lots of gold, spending your gold on this guy and try to gamble for rare items.
I'm still planning on getting a ton of small charms that add gold increase, and to see how high I can get stacks of gold to drop as, and then see if it's more valuable to use your gold to gamble stuff rather than just like run meths. I don't know.
Actually, every time you kill something, you're gambling. You're trying to get a certain item or just hoping to get an item. Now, in World of Warcraft, everything you kill has a certain list of items that it could possibly drop. Well, in Diablo, it's kind of the same thing, but it's like based on the level, item level. Once you kill like a level 40 monster...
My dog really wants me to let her outside. I've never stopped a video to go let my dog out in the middle of making a video, but... Holy shit, does she want to go outside right now? Huh? Alright.
It's like an item...
I'll let you guys listen to me for a second.
Let me try to explain the difference. Every item in Diablo has an item class. You have different types of swords, different types of axes, different types of armors, and helmets, and shoes, and gloves. And in World of Warcraft, if you kill, like, Lord Kazakh, the big giant demon that drops, like, 3 or 4 epic items every time you kill him, he's got a list of, like, 10 items that could drop. Those 10... The 3 epic items he drops is going to be 3 out of those 10 or 12 or whatever, how many items that he drops. He's going to drop a few blues, he's going to drop a certain amount of gold, and
that's
you're
right,
guaranteed
Self.
that's what he's going to drop, because
that's
it's all set up that way. If
you're a genius.
Diablo,
You're a fucking genius.
The game Diablo, he could drop fucking anything.
He can drop fucking anything.
Be a sword, an axe, a helmet, a piece of armor.
See, this isn't exactly true, because monsters have monster levels. I just recently learned, like, some of the things, Diablo actually is level 85, I think. No, wait, he actually might be high enough. There's certain things, like if you want to get a Grand Charm that has 45 life on it, that has to have an eye level of 95. So the monster level is equal to eye level. So the area Diablo's in is at 85, I think, but Diablo himself, probably higher. Bartok the Bloody, or whatever, and Act 5 in the Bale Room, he is high enough to get those. Anything past him, like the ones that spawn after him, they're all high enough. And then mostly you got to go to like Uber Trist, Uber Meth, Uber Andariel, Uber Duriel, all those guys, they can drop it. So if you get a Grand Charm in one of those areas, keep it. And keep re-rolling it with perfect gems, because you can get plus 45 life.
Could be a unique piece of armor, could be a rare, could be green, or you don't know. And you can affect the amount of things that he's going to drop, or the items that he's going to drop, by wearing magic find gear. Now this gear gives you a better percentage of finding unique or rare. Now
it actually has a debilitating, there's a scale, like 250 to 300 is about where you want your magic find to be. 100 magic find is just as good as the next 100, or the next 200 or 300 magic find. Because the first 100 goes way up in scale, and then it like gradually slides off. So if you just want to do like casual magic finding, 100 is fine. But if you really want to like guarantee a lot of uniques, you want to have like 250, 300 somewhere. That's a sweet spot. But if you're a character that's not like a magic find source, 100 and 150 is probably going to be good enough. Don't worry about, like, if you can kill stuff faster, it's probably going to be more efficient to not get as many unique drops, so be able to kill stuff.
the unique and rare in Diablo is kind of a misnomer, because what they call a rare item has a gold text on it, and this says uniquely generated item stats. Every time one of them drop, it'll say like a certain amount of life leech or mana leech or extra armor or light radius or whatever kind of stat it's going to have. It just randomly generates it. Those are actually truly what you would call a unique item. You don't have any that are the same, exactly the same. But what they call uniques in the game are actually rare because they're all exactly the same. There are a few differences in some of the items. For example, if you get Tyrael's Might armor, it says here you get like a plus 120 to 150% enhanced defense, plus 50 to 100% damage to demons, plus 20 to 30 strength. And these numbers that are variable, they can vary, but all the stats are the same on every.
Look how smart I was for 15 years ago.
If you get like a rare sacred armor, which is the same armor class as this, you might not even have any percent damage to demons. You might not even have any plus resistances. It could be totally different stats. So
a
rares
genius.
are actually unique, and unique are actually rares. But
I've only
either
gotten
way,
smarter.
it's fun to get them. It's fun to see gold items drop. I remember when
God damn it.
the unique Shaco that all
Just
the
impressed
mages want to
myself.
have dropped. And I was in Hell Cow level, and everybody just ran towards it, and I was right there next to it, so I just clicked it and got it, and it was great. But that's what's exciting about it, is that stuff just drops, and you get to pick it up. In World of Warcraft, you kill something, if you're in a party with a bunch of people, that party is the only one that gets to loot it. If somebody comes by and sees it, they can't pick anything up off of it.
See, in one way, it's good because you can target farm what you want, but it's too specific. Like, in Path of Exile, they used to have where only spiked gloves would only drop in a few maps that were in this, like, pizza slice kind of an area. Or different kinds of, like, sorceress rings or belts or sorceress gloves, dexterity gloves. What are those? Vermilion and cerulean rings? Yeah, those ones. Like, they would only drop on certain maps, so you could target farm them, but you wouldn't be target farming a boss. You would just, like, know that it could drop in that map, which is probably better. But it's still probably, like, you could target farm Stone of Jordans by doing Nightmare and Duriel, because there's less rings that can drop that can be unique, but it has to be like a certain high, like a level. So Andariel is the perfect level to find Stone of Jordan rings. If you do like Hell Andariel, it's too high because it could also drop, you know, like Ravenfrost or whatever, the ones that are higher required. So you can kind of do something like
It
that.
doesn't drop like that. You just have a list, and you get to distribute it around to whoever rolls the highest, or you just have to decide amongst yourselves. Now in Diablo, it's not as fair as World of Warcraft, but it is more fun because there's all these different situations that can happen, because it's like reality. Stuff just drops, and you have to race for it and click, and whoever has the fastest computer is most likely going to win. Yeah, Hell Cows, that's like a secret level that you open up, and it's packed full of walking cows with polearms, giant halberds that will slice you in half. They're very strong if you're not tough enough to like stay away from them, and you got to group them up and wipe them out with some kind of big area effect blizzard.
They also have a lag range that they can hit you when they're not even near you, because they really are. You're slagging.
Or a Frost Nova type spell, but they drop a shit ton of items, and it's just fun to just go through them and plow through them and try to get all these good items to drop. Now the thing that's really fun
What's the thing that's really fun, Self?
about Diablo is being sneaky.
What's so good about being sneaky? I feel like I'm having a conversation with myself.
Like in World of Warcraft, everybody's on the same world, and you can just wander around and run into people. In Diablo, you get to make your own games, and each game can only have 8 people. And if you want to have the most items dropping off of the things you kill, which is going to make it harder,
yes.
but you're going to get more items, so it's kind of more efficient to play like that.
What's some good techniques you would do to get around this?
You want to get in a game that has 8 people in it.
Oh.
So you want to find a game that has 7 people and try to get into that game. Now what amazed me was that, like, there's an area in Act 1. There's 5 different acts in the game, and each act has about 10 different waypoints, different sections. Some sections don't even have waypoints. So there's like 50, 60, 70 some different areas in the game. Now this one particular area,
I don't think I did that math. I think I just guessed the number.
that it has a higher chance of dropping magical items. So everybody would try to get there. And you would go to a game, you'd want 8 people in the game to
Are you talking about the pit level 2? T2?
have better drop rate. You'd find the game has 7 people in it, you would join it. And the game could have been made like a minute ago. It could be only have been existing for like a minute. And you would run to the pit, try to find the stairs to get down to level 2, because that's where the good area was, where the unique monsters that dropped this stuff was at. And there'd already be somebody there.
Apparently level 1 is the same.
The stairs, a sorceress would just start teleporting past you, like, what the hell? Some sorceress just passed me up. Everybody's going to the pit. There's a group that is going to be like trying to kill Bale. Like, that's what you do. You find a game that's called Bale Runs 07, or people that make these repeat games have 8 people in them just trying to kill Bale. And you would get into those, and you'd go to Act 1 to the pit and try to get to these monsters that drop the good stuff. There'd be somebody there half the time. So you'd be sneaky like that. And also, since there's 8 people, if you were strong enough, like you had a good sorceress or something that could wipe out those hell cows with 8 people in the game, as tough as that was, you could sneak off the Tristram and get Wirt's leg, put it in the Herodric Cube with a Tome of Town portal, and make a hell cows. but you would want to sneak down in the very bottom corner of the map.
Oh, that's sneaky,
Strange, so
T2. That's
if someone had
sneaky.
their auto map up, they wouldn't see the portal on the map. They wouldn't know that the hell
Oh.
cows was going on. And you could have all the loot for yourself if you could kill those cows before they kill Bale. That's what I would do. I would make...
I would go to Sony Field and get the worst leg in a different game and already have it in my cube ready. That was more time to kill them cows, T2.
hell cows, and I would try to kill them all before everybody killed Bale and left the game. That way you'd still have 8 people in there. But sneaky stuff like that, that's what made the game fun. There's all those different scenarios that you could just come up with that wasn't really part of how they designed the game, but because they designed the game realistically, you could realistically come up with stuff that's fun to do.
So you can do /players 8 in an offline game and you can get the same effect of having 8 people in the game. But now you've got this new thing where you just you don't even go into the lobby, you just hit play and it generates a game and a password for you that's the same. But you're still online, I think. So I don't think the Players 8 works in that, but I wish it did. But then like people can join your game that are on your friends list still, so I don't think it would work.
Just like in real life. You could also trick people into certain things. There are a couple of glitches in the game which it's not really fair, but like I lost a Stone of Jordan ring because of this one time, and it really sucked. But I'm glad that the game has the ability that you can like cheat.
I don't even remember losing that.
It makes it more interesting. It's more realistic. Just like the real world, you can go out and get robbed tomorrow. But in most games like World of Warcraft, you can't actually get robbed out of your money unless you're an idiot. That's one thing that's it's kind of bad, but it's kind of good in the same way. Somehow they would get you to fill your inventory up while you...
That's why DayZ was so fun, because you could rob people. That's the best time me and Austin ever had. Like, flying a helicopter to a guy's base and, like, he actually be in his base and, like, not paying attention, and we, like, sneak under there, roll into his... crawl under his wall, he left a big gap in and shoot him while he's got his safe open. Man, it's like... robbing people's fun. They should make more games where you're just committing crimes. Robbing people. Killing them. And that's one thing, but like taking their possessions, making them cry like a little bitch, that's what's fun. Ruining somebody's day, making them waste all their time.
You're dead. So that when you clicked your corpse to get all your items back on, you're already wearing a bunch of crappy gear, so then your items have nowhere to go, so they just all fall out on the ground, all your good shit.
Plop.
People can pick those up and they can steal them. Now, World of Warcraft, not only can you not do that, but you can't even trade items sometimes. If you've worn anything, it's soulbound to you. You can't even get rid of it.
Sucks.
You could sell it for like 3 gold if it's worth like 200 fucking gold. It's just a waste. Like,
although, I did think that one of the ways Path of Exile could have improved, like, they didn't want you making rare items that were too good. But if there was a downside, like it becomes soulbound where you can't trade it, then it will prevent like the economy getting fucked by it. So you could make it like a perfect item, but only you can use it, so it's good for you. I think that would be fine. But also you can't get robbed in Path of Exile. Like, it's another problem it has.
anything that you're tired of using or it's secondhand or you just have no use for it anymore, it's just a waste. It's gone. Unless you can disenchant it and get like a gem or something out of it. But they have to do that to keep the economy straight. Like, gold is really worth something in Warcraft. Diablo, gold is pretty much worthless. It's easy to just go through a Hell Cows game and pick up gold that nobody wants. Just piles and piles of gold laying around. Nobody cares. Nobody could really like eBay gold on Diablo. They eBay characters that they've spent
Due to
a
just
year
P.
making like a level 90 something guy. But gold is pretty much worthless unless you want to gamble with it.
Oh yeah, the old outro. Wow, is that copyrighted? What is that music? Oh, that was from the CKY, wasn't it? I think it was. Here we go. Part 2. Wait, it's not part 2? There we go.
You also have a player versus player dueling type thing with Diablo. Everybody would meet up in Act 1 and go outside the gate and duel.
Oh,
and like
yeah.
I said in my Legend of Gun video on Warcraft I just made, you had things called twinks.
Twinks.
Which is either level 9 or level 12 usually, that you would take your high level characters and get all the best stuff, and you would fill your inventory full of...
I had a guy come in one of my games the other day that was twinking, I think. Because he was low level, like 19, and he was like going around trying to kill everybody that was like 25, 30. But yeah, you could use like sacrifice pallies with might, get rushed all the way through hell, get all your resists up, get all Icenheart gear on. It's pretty dope.
charms, like poison charms. which adds extra poison damage to your attack. Like if you're just a level 9 guy, you're going to be doing like 10 damage or something. But you have like a whole inventory space full of like 6 poison charms. It's like 6 times 40 or something. That's like 250 poison damage or something.
Oh yeah.
240 plus the 10.
That's a good twink.
And it's like, it blows people's minds that you're doing that much damage to them. Like my twink character I made was a paladin. I made him a level 12. I escorted him through all 3 levels of difficulty. I got him through hell difficulty somehow. Or I got a friend to do it. I think you can't really do it on your own unless you log out and log in really fast or something. But yeah, I got him all of the major quests done. I got all his resistances up. Like that helps a lot. When you're dueling somebody and they're trying to like do magic on you, magic fucking does nothing because you have like 75% resist against it all. So the only guy that was able to beat me, I think, was this guy who made an assassin that was like a martial arts expert, and he just had this super fast kick that if he kicked you, you're dead. So you had to stay away from him. Which I'm a melee paladin, so I'd always get my ass kicked. I like assassins. I like the the lightning trap assassins because you don't even have to be near something to kill it. You could plant your traps way off into the distance. Just sit there and let them kill shit and then go loot it later. The only problem with this is that while it's killing stuff, it's dropping all of your items, and somebody else could be up there just picking up the stuff that you just killed for. So, ranged attack is safer, but it's not safer about getting your stuff, getting your loot. Now, like I said in my Back to the 80s shows about like Captain Planet, and the key to making a good 80s cartoon is to have all these different elements like fire, earth, water, and air. And Diablo 2 totally captures that. You have sorceresses that they can be lightning or frost or fire. You can specialize in different talents, you know. The only way that Warcraft is really superior in this is that you can relearn your talents. If you don't like how you did it, you could pay a fee and everything gets wiped and you start over and you can put your talents back into the certain.
Apparently you can do that in Diablo 2, but I didn't realize it. I don't know if it's something they just added for Resurrected, these little essences you can find off of certain things. I don't even know what drops. I just remember I got a couple of them. For Mandariel, I think.
But Diablo, you can't really do that, so you have to make a new character and start all over, which does add some replayability to the game. If you screw up, you have to like start over again. It's really cool. Like necromancers have poison, Amazons have mostly like a javelin. Amazon has lightning and poison. Druids have the wind and fire attacks. By the way, I was just watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, and that's pretty much one of those cartoons that does the same thing. It's all about elemental stuff: airbending, waterbending, all that good stuff, firebending. Another good thing about role-playing games that makes it fun is the ability to use teamwork to beat the big, hard enemies of the game, like Diablo or Baal or Ragnarok.
They could make a Diablo 2 style game with Avatar Last Airbender characters. That'd be pretty cool, actually. I'd play tough.
If you're playing Warcraft, but Warcraft you have different roles, like you have a warrior that has to be able to take the damage and tank and keep the stuff hitting you at the same time as a priest is healing you, keeping everybody alive. In Diablo, you have to build up your resistances so you don't take that much damage, no matter what class you are. You want to have some kind of life mana leak so you're stealing health back every time you hit something, because nobody's healing you. Nobody in the game heals other people. You just have potions. So you can, the thing about Warcraft, if you
Actually, Fist of Heaven's pallies can heal. I didn't realize at the time.
drink a potion, you have to wait like 2 minutes or 5 minutes before you can drink a potion again. So if you're out of health and mana, do you want to drink a mana potion and try to get some spells on this thing and kill it before you get killed and risk dying? Or do you want to drink a health potion and try to run away or just try to outlast it long enough where you can drink a mana potion? By that time you'll be half dead again anyway, so it's kind of like, what's the point of even having potions if you're just going to be able to drink one? In Diablo, you can just pound on the button and just drink like 10 potions in a second, which will probably give you some kind of indigestion, but you can do it. But you have like sorceresses, they have this spell that's a lightning spell that's static. What it does, static shock. It sucks the life down of the enemies to 25% less. So the first time they cast it, they're going to be down to 75% life. Next time they cast it, they're going to be down to like 66% life, I think. I'm not sure about the math. But every time you hit it, they lose a quarter of their life, but every time they do that, they have less life, so it does less damage. So once you get it down to about 25%, that's really about as far as you can go.
Good way of explaining that. I'm not really good at explaining things.
That's when the other guys come in and they start pounding on their stuff.
It does less damage because they have less life.
Diablo, if you have a good sorceress with you, you're going to start out pretty much killing them at 25% life. It's going to be
25% of less.
Dead. So that's how you use teamwork in Diablo. And it's totally different from Warcraft, but it's also very fun. I remember back when the first ladder thing was out, and there were 2 barbarians in Diablo 2. And
What were their
warriors
names?
were called barbarians in Diablo, but there were 2 guys that were competing to see who could get to level 99 first. And one was called Rust Barb, and one was called Jer Barb. And the name seems kind of odd until you realize that Rust stands for Russia, and Jer stands for Germany. These were 2 guys that were on a team of a bunch of different people that were trying to get these guys level 99. This was how cool and how popular the game was. These countries.
Imagine if Diablo 2 had a race championships or something like this. That was like the Mario 3 scene in the Wizard movie, where you had that big screen with a whole audience, and it was like basically what like Fortnite is today, or like StarCraft, one of those StarCraft tourneys, or League of Legends. Yeah, those ones. Like those games actually took off and got like MLG type attention, but like Tribes 2, which is like totally perfect for that kind of thing, never even caught on really. There was casting at the time, but like Diablo 2 would have been great. Like the Madden games, if they actually had people paying attention, they would have actually had to make good Madden games instead of copying the same game every year. Like one of the best moments I remember from games is like there's a Super Bowl that 2 of the NFL quarterbacks from each team, I think it was, or like maybe just teammates, I don't know if they were quarterbacks. They were playing Madden against each other, and I was watching it in Walmart on the TV, and I was like, man, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, like all the games that get attention for casting is like League of Legends. Like, who the fuck wants to watch League of Legends or StarCraft? That's the most boring shit in the world. What are y'all talking about? At least a shooter game.
Like, there'd be a bunch of sorceresses go into the game that this guy's not even in yet. They would clear the way to Diablo, and they would have everything around him killed and dead, and they would static him down to like 25% life. So this guy that they're trying to level up, he just comes into the game, runs straight to Diablo, and kills him and gets Diablo experience and all the items or whatever. Then he would go to the next game, and somebody would have it cleared. So that's what sorcerers do. They pretty much wipe shit out, and it was amazing the competition that they were doing in this game with 2 countries competing against each other. So in conclusion, the reasons Diablo is superior as far as role-playing games go is that it has all the different elements that make a game good. You've got gambling, you've got dueling, you've got the elemental thing, you've got the ability to trade weapons and items, you've got teamwork. Like reality, you can cheat people out of stuff, trick people, you can actually see items drop on the ground like they would actually happen. It's just the rarity of things, like runes, like the really rare things, like the unique Grand Charm, Guide's Fortune, something like that drops, or you get the fucking Uber Diablo spawn that happens like one.
I'm watching myself and I'm wondering, how did I not ever get laid back in those days? And look how charming and suave I am and intelligent.
It's a day, every day it happens, and you happen to be on the server where it happens, and the whole ground starts to shake and everything goes crazy, and everybody's rushing to it trying to kill it, and they start telling their friends, oh, Uber Diablo's in this room, everybody go to this room, and everybody just piles in and you can't get in. It's just exciting, and it's all like realistically happening. So yeah, that's pretty much why it's the best.
Alright, next up, Pro at Fried Cooking Week Part 3. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that.